it's basically not the best for us. You know, and when Maria asked, she's like, are immigrants healthy when they get here, or are they unhealthy? That's a really interesting question, because the diets that they have back at home are not the same diets here. You know, here in impoverished parts of the city, you can say South Central. I grew up in South Central. I know. My sister was still living in Watts up until a couple of months ago, so I got to go there a lot. They don't have organic food stores on the corner. They have liquor stores. You know, they don't have Whole Foods. You don't have Trader Joe's. You know, they have like, what do you have? You have Food for Less, right? You have a lot of these stores, and sometimes not even that. That one's far. But most of the quick access they have is like the donut shop, or like $2 tacos from Jack in the Box. So this is the subsistence of a lot of people who have low income, especially Latino, minority, Black populations, you know? So this is what they're eating. And so how is this kind of diet going to affect their life force, their abdominal area, their reproductive health, their chulo? Do you think it's going to affect it? Very well. Do you think that a food of donuts and like Jack in the Box and like a 12-ounce soda of Coke, how do you think that's going to affect your life force?
Slow down.
It's going to slow down, right? It's going to decrease it. How do you think, and just to put this out there, how do you think it would affect your brain health? Not very well, right? It's going to slow it down. It's going to slow it down. So this stuff for me was fascinating. You know, I already was tweaking with my diet around the time that I did this, but in understanding, you know, how this massage would work and how the healing method would work, I realized that I had to hold back on offering herbal supplements to people until they can get a foundation of health, meaning their diet. And not only that, there's another aspect to all of this, is how people think about their worldview. Folk medicine has been around for a long, 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 long time. And just, you guys can shout out, can you guys give me when you guys think of folk medicine, what do you guys think of? Any examples of folk medicine? You can, whatever comes up to your head. When you think of folk medicine, I guys think of witch doctors maybe? Chickens, eggs. What? Teas? Teas for remedies? Yes, beautiful. Teas for remedies. Do you guys have any examples of folk remedies your family maybe has done for you? Like the teas? The teas is one of them. Okay. Another two huge examples I want you to consider in folk medicine is traditional Chinese medicine. Do you guys know traditional Chinese medicine? How about acupuncture? You guys are familiar with acupuncture? Okay, great. Acupuncture has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, hundreds and thousands of years. It is a system of medicine that is based on traditional folk medicine. People in China practice traditional Chinese medicine in their homes, when they go visit their doctors. They've been practicing it for years. It is a systemized, studied, research-formed folk medicine that is now becoming legitimate in this world and has insurance coverage and all of that, which is beautiful because it implements elements of earth, wood, fire, air, water. These are all elements that make up ourselves, and of course it implements the idea of qi, the life force. Another system of folk medicine that is really beautiful is Ayurveda. Ayurveda. Has anyone heard of Ayurveda? Ayurveda is wonderful and awesome. It is a traditional Indian form of medicine, and Ayurveda translates to the science of life. And it's a folk medicine. It's a medicine that's been used for people for hundreds of thousands of years. And it involves plants, and it involves these beautiful oil massages. It involves, you know, there's this wonderful remedies that they use for the eyes, and they pour oil, warm oil, over your forehead for like a half hour, and they chant to you and pray over you so you can be healed. And it is one of the most sublime experiences I've ever experienced. And it's very, very amazing. And these are folk medicine, and they're very valid. And the Maya system of medicine is just as valid. They incorporate all these things. They incorporate plants, they incorporate minerals, they incorporate prayer, they incorporate diet. And the very, very, very important fundamental thing to understand with this is the diet. Okay, because traditional Chinese medicine will tell you to change your diet. Ayurvedic medicine will tell you to change your diet. Both of these old folk medicines use pulse reading. Pulse diagnosis is part of folk medicine. In Maya, traditional Maya medicine, we also use pulse diagnosis, reading the blood, trying to understand what's going on in the blood. We use the ideas of hot and cold, meaning if the blood is hot, it's going to be speedy and jumpy. And if the blood is cold, it's going to be slowed down. So if you're having a system of a cold, that kind of represents the backstory of just having cold, your mucus is going to be congested, it's going to be slow, it's going to be heavy, it's going to be slowed down. It's going to be difficult for you to cough up your phlegm. If you have a condition of heat, there's going to be a lot of inflammation, a lot of fever. So they read this through the pulse. So you read the pulse and you get information from the blood. And they do this in Ayurveda. They do this in traditional Chinese medicine as well. Traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine also read your tongue. It's very, very interesting. The tongue is very indicative of your digestive health and your overall body health. And it's a very cool thing to do. I invite you guys to look at your tongue every morning and see what it tells you. A nice, clear, pink tongue is indicative that you're healthy. A tongue that's coated usually is indicative that something's going on. And the tongue can be coated in all kinds of ways. I've seen pictures of black tongues. Usually with people with stage 5 cancers. So the tongue gets really fuzzy and really coated. So it's very, very interesting, these diagnostic tools that the ancients had and that we still have now. Really, really fascinating stuff. So the diet. Okay, so I told you about the sacred triad. The sacred triad was vital throughout all of Latin America. This is what people ate. It was healthy. It was organic. It was not. It was part of their existence. They understood it. And so we get here, and it's very interesting because this is a class, Latinos in health, right? The Latino population has a big problem with diet. Number one, because there are the places where they live, they don't have access to good, healthy food. And it's not just the Latino population, it's most minorities in the United States. And I'm just kind of talking, so I lost track of all my notes. But the diet problem with the Latino population is very interesting. And I'm going to because this is the thing that's coming up for me. When I speak with older Latinos about their diet, it's very hard to get them to think about eating the beans, the squash, the corn, a vegetarian diet. They will say things like, that's what poor people eat. That is a poor people's diet, you know? And when they've immigrated here to the United States, they've come here to the land of plenty. And so they feel that part of the American dream is that they get to eat what they want. And if they want to eat McDonald's, it's their right as an American citizen now or living in America that I get to eat my McDonald's. Why am I going to eat beans and corn and squash? I've been eating that my whole life. I'm not going to eat it now. And it's very, very interesting. But it's still a staple. But they're still adding like all this refined food and things of that nature. Another thing that's that's really bad right now is the genetic modification of corn. And I have a question for you guys. How many of you know what genetically modifying is? Do you guys know about genetically modified foods? So do you know about genetic?
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what genetically modifying is?
It's like tampering with the actual object itself, yeah, and reducing it into whatever way you can to.
Yeah. I'll tell you guys the breakdown of how you genetically modify an organism. You take the seed, and what scientists do is they use a vector. And a vector is usually in the form of a virus. And so the virus will be coded, they will change the DNA coding of the virus, inject it into the seed, So the virus then infects the cells, breaks open the cells, tampers with the DNA, and then replicates itself with the new DNA structure that they want the seed to do. Okay, do you guys kind of follow that a little bit? So if they want a seed to be more resistant to aphids, aphids are a form of bug, it's a form of a fly that affects crops. So if they want the seed to be resistant to aphids, they will, in their infinite knowledge and wisdom, because there's a lot of knowledge out there, a lot of wisdom that's being used for many, many interesting things. So in their infinite knowledge and wisdom, they will make these genetically modified seeds that will be resistant to pesticides, or that will work in conjunction with other fertilizers, so they will grow more hardier, faster, and more abundant crops right away. You know, so these are called genetically modified foods. And if you guys haven't heard of genetically modified foods, then you probably don't know the answer to this, but I'll ask anyway. Do you know the top 3 genetically modified foods right now in the United States? Chicken? Chicken? Chicken is a chicken is factory farm. Okay, that's good, that's great. Actually, I was thinking genetically modified plants.
Wheat?
Huh?
Wheat?
Meat?
No, wheat.
Wheat, I think is one. Corn, soy, and wheat are the top 3 plants that are being genetically modified. Corn is in everything. How many of you guys know about high fructose corn syrup? Okay. Have you guys ever read the labels on the back of your food? Okay, have you seen that high fructose corn syrup is in everything? It's in everything. Genetically modified corn has been shown to cause organ failure in some people and definitely in lab rats. So this is the food that we have available to us as individuals. Okay, so I just kind of want you to think about that a little bit.
So like, okay, so where do you get, like what are some of the things that you drink or eat? You know, like how do you, because I know sometimes we go to the grocery store and we go to the produce section and it's like, how do we know that this corn is not?
Well, right now there's a huge lobby against it because I don't know if either they have it, there's genetically modified food in the grocery stores and it's not labeled. I think the only way you will know that the corn is not genetically modified is if it says non-GMO organic.
So it has to say that?
It has to say it. If it doesn't say it,
I've never seen that in the grocery store yet.
and that is what, that is part of healthcare reform, I think.
So where do you get your food from?
Where do I get my food from? I'll get it from Trader Joe's. I'll get it from the farmers markets. If there's a Whole Foods by the office that I work at, so I go in there and I get some juices. Whole Foods, I have a client of mine who calls it whole food check. It's expensive. I totally get it. I totally get it. And I'm actually on a mission to try to figure out how to eat an organic vegetarian diet, like cheap.
So you are a vegetarian?
I do not eat meat sometimes. As of yet, I have had a week of going vegetarian. I was a vegetarian full on for 4 years. I was actually a vegan.